We are continuing with Act 4, Scene 1. It is the trial scene in the court of Venice. And here, the Duke, he says that, "Upon my power I may dismiss this court unless Bellario, a learned doctor, whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today." So the Duke says that he has the authority to dismiss this court unless Bellario comes today. He is a legal expert I sent for to act as judge and help settle this matter. To this, Cesario replies, "My lord, a messenger is waiting outside with a letter from Bellario, and he has just come from Padua." And the Duke asks him to bring the letter and call in the messenger. Now Bassanio asks Antonio to cheer up and keep up his courage. He says, "Good cheer, Antonio, what man courage yet? The Jew shall have my flesh, blood, bones and all, ere thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood." So look at their friendship, the gravity of their friendship. Bassanio is offering his own flesh, blood, bones and all before he can even take one drop of blood from Antonio's body. And to this Antonio replies, "I am a tainted wether of the flock, meetest for death. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground. And so let me. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph." So what does Antonio say? He says that I am like the sheep in the flock, the one who deserves to die. The weakest fruit drops to the ground first. So let me drop. Bassanio, the best thing you can do is to keep living and write an epitaph for my gravestone. Epitaph are the lines written on the gravestone. And here we see Nerissa enters. She is disguised as the lawyer's clerk. And Duke asks him, "Came you from Padua, from Bellario?" Nerissa says, "From both, my lord." Bellario greets your grace and she presents the letter to the Duke. The Duke says, "Meanwhile, Shylock sharpens his knife on the sole of his shoe." And seeing this, Bassanio says, "Why dost thou whet thy knife so earnestly?" Means, why are you sharpening your knife so eagerly? To this Shylock replies, "To cut my penalty from that bankrupt man." Now Gratiano is angered at seeing this and he says that you are sharpening that knife not on your soul, S-O-L-E. Here is a pun on this word soul, but on your soul, S-O-U-L. Cruel Jew. No metal, not even the executioner's axe, could be half as sharp as your hatred. Can't any prayers reach your heart? Shylock replies, "No, none that you are smart enough to make." And Gratiano curses him, "Oh, you are going to hell. Killing you would be justice." And Gratiano calls Shylock a dog and a wolf. And he says that Shylock has the spirit of an animal in human body. And Shylock says that it's no use shouting here because I stand here with the law on my side. Now the Duke says, "This letter from Bellario introduces us to a young and well-educated legal expert. Who is he?" Now the dramatist Shakespeare is preparing us for the entry of Portia. and the Duke wants to know that who is the young man whom Bellario has sent. And Nerissa says he is waiting nearby to find out if you will invite him in. To which Duke replies, with all my heart, 3 or 4 of you go welcome him. Meanwhile, I'll read Bellario's letter out loud. So he reads the letter written by Bellario for the public. He reads it loudly. And the letter says, what does the letter say? Your Grace shall understand that at the receipt of your letter I am very sick. But in the instant that your messenger came, in loving visitation was with me a young doctor of Rome. His name is Balthazar. I acquainted him with the cause in controversy between the Jew and Antonio the merchant. Means the letter written by Bellario says that he is very sick at this time, and when Duke's messenger came to him, he was being visited by a young doctor from Rome. His name is Balthazar. So I told Balthazar, and we both discussed the case of Shylock the Jew and Antonio the merchant. And we also read many books to discuss the case. And we read the books together, and he knows my legal opinions in this matter, and he also has his own expert opinion as well. So I am sending Balthazar in my place to answer your request for someone to act as judge in this matter. And he is asking the Duke not to underestimate Balthazar because he is young. He has a very mature head, and I leave him to you. When you put him to test, you will see how wonderful he really is. So here is the dramatic irony. The audience knows that who is going to come as Balthazar, who is disguised as Balthazar. It is Portia. So now we see Portia will enter the court and turn tables on Shylock.